Welcome back to my channel, Ragamuffins. My name is Raggarog, and today I want to talk to you about the Fate series. That is by Ufotable and Aniplex and all of those other related conglomerations. Blah. So, fun fact, I am actually a huge fan of this series. I've played the mobile game, and I've watched a bunch of the animes, Fate Zero, Unlimited Blade Works, Apocrypha, most of them. I guess there's a bit that I need to catch up on, but I am here for that series. It's a cool series full of characters from ancient myth, legend, and history and all that, and it's just really cool to see them imagined as like cool anime characters, albeit with half of them just being schoolgirls, even though they're like big buff masculine men in real life. But getting straight into the video today, I want to list off my 5 favorite characters from this series. That is to say, my 5 favorite servants, because there's a bunch of characters who aren't servants until they are servants. It's a weird thing. You kind of just learn as you expose yourself to this series. But from any series, any game, whatever, I'm going to be listing off my 5 favorite servants from the series, and for any reason in any particular order. So brace yourselves. The first one on this list today is actually going to be Vlad Berserker. So I specified that because if you don't know, there are actually 2 variations that you can get of Vlad. There is his Berserker form, and I'm referring specifically to his Berserker form from the mobile game, as opposed to his Lancer form, which is known as Vlad III. So Vlad III is clearly just Vlad before he became a vampire, and then you've got the Berserker form, which is him as a vampire, which is like, okay, that's cool. It's really weird to me because in the mobile game, and this is where I like him from, this design is what they use for him as a Berserker, but in Fate Apocrypha, the anime, they use this design for him even though he is only a Lancer class. So it's really weird that they did that swap in aesthetic designs, I guess, but like whatever. In any case, my reason for liking this guy so much, apart from him being just a badass completely in both the anime and the game, is that this was actually my first 5-star hero, or servant if you will, that I acquired when playing the game. So he is a Berserker class, and pretty much because he was the first one I got, of course I've been using him from that time, and he's just my ride or die no matter what. I pretty much implement him into every team, and my entire playstyle revolves around just using him and his abilities. And while he may not be the best servant, he's grown on me, and I've just learned to play in a specific way based around him. Apart from that, who doesn't love the legend of Dracula and vampires and that? And it's pretty cool. He's pretty badass. You gotta give him that. Second on this list is going to be Mordred. Now, Mordred, I have a few reasons for really liking Mordred. The first reason is that Mordred is, she makes her first anime appearance in Fate Apocrypha, so we're talking about that one again. And there's not really like a main character, I think, in Apocrypha. You could say that it was Jeanne d'Arc, you could say it was the kid that she ends up hanging out with, the homunculus. It could be Mordred, it could be her master. It's open to interpretation, I guess, but she is one of the main characters. She's certainly more important than some of the others, so there you go. But what I like about it is that even though she's kind of there to be the cover girl, because they do that, they always have like a character that looks similar to Saber from like Fate Zero or Unlimited Blade Works or whatever. They always have like that blonde sword-wielding hero, and that's fine. So that's her role in this movie, but unlike a lot of the others who fill that role, she's kind of more like an anti-hero. She's not a nice person. She's brash and rude and just a really strong-willed woman, and I can respect that. The thing is, too, is that when watching Fate Apocrypha, you watch her be an absolute unit. She goes out and she takes on like 3-4 other servants by herself and wins until the kid like messes her up or something. I forget what happens. The point is that she holds her own really well. The design overall with the helmet and the sword and everything is just badass. And then underneath it, you've got like this small-framed little girl, but that's pretty standard for a lot of the servants in the Fate series. So there you go. Otherwise, there's not much else to say about her, but she is also the first 5-star Saber servant that I acquired in my game of Fate Go, which is pretty cool and coincidental because I didn't expect to get my favorite Saber, but there you go. Thirdly on this list is going to be Tamamo no Me. And Tamamo no Me is the myth or legend, if you will, of the nine-tailed fox. It's a legend that we've all probably heard about or seen referenced in visual media in certain places, but that is exactly what she is supposed to be. For all I understand, she is essentially a goddess creature, like a deity monster or something, who has had like 8 of her 9 tails removed, which are also the source of her power. The way she's presented in the Fate series is that she's kind of like this jealous girlfriend character who becomes obsessed with their master, and it's like, that's whatever. But the point is that she, like a lot of my favorites in this list, is actually the first 5-star caster that I acquired in my game of Fate Go. And not only that, but I actually acquired her in the same summoning of 10 different servants alongside Vlad, who I mentioned earlier. So not only did I first get Vlad right out of the gate, but I also got Tamamo. So I kind of just paired these two together, and that's similar to Vlad, is just how I play now. I typically play with Vlad and Tamamo, and because they are both arts-based heroes as well, and her whole shtick is around, like, works around kind of like restoring noble phantasm power, and Vlad is kind of like that as well, except for himself. It creates a really cool dynamic where I can just perpetually keep Vlad using his noble phantasm, sometimes 3-4 turns in a row, which is OP as hell, I'm going to say. But definitely this is a winning combination for me, and Tamamo, while I wasn't terribly interested in her initially, her usefulness and the fact that I just got her right out of the gate has made her grow on me a lot. So there you go. The fourth one on this list today is going to be none other than Ozymandias, also known as Ramesses II. Although they don't call him that in the series, my affinity for this character is directly from the mobile game that is Fate Go, and he's just the best servant. He may be a rider class, but even against classes that he's not particularly strong against or even weak to, he just holds his own. He is a powerhouse, and there's like a general consensus across the Fate community that there's nothing but respect for this character. He is powerful, he is well designed, he is what I would consider to be an unexpected but welcome representation of Ramesses II, because there is so much about ancient Egypt that we do not know or understand. Creating a character who is this cool and confident and just awesome in every way is a great way to garner interest in that subject. And I remember in school I did a couple of assignments and exams and things about Ramesses II in particular, and it's a really, really interesting field of study. Just one small facet of ancient Egyptian history is like the coolest thing that you can just dive into for hours and hours and hours of research and have fun actually doing it. So Ozymandias is just another way to enjoy that element of ancient Egypt. I'll say that it's less educational and it's more fan service. That's pretty much entirely the Fate series, but it is mostly stemmed in educational properties. They only embellish the truth in small increments for the sake of developing a plot. So I'll say this, that Ozymandias is probably, if not the best general character in the series, he is one of for sure. Then lastly on this list, and certainly not least by any stretch, I have chosen another rider class, Iskander. Iskander, if you are unaware, is actually a representation of Alexander the Great. And yeah, he looks nothing like the Alexander the Great that we think of in actual real-life history. And they touch on that in the Fate Zero anime where he makes his big appearance. The thing I love about this character is just how infectious his confidence is. I literally will look up videos of him just talking, him doing speeches and rousing his troops and whatever, talking to Waver about how small he is compared to the world and how that doesn't stop him and stuff. I will look up these videos and I will just sit there and watch and listen. And by virtue of listening to these words from Iskander, I feel confidence well up inside me. I feel indestructible when I'm listening to Iskander. And even if I don't agree with his values, the confidence and vim and vigor with which he exemplifies, it's infectious. So I may not, in fact, seek world conquest. His philosophy is essentially to treat all of your life's experiences like a conquest against the world, which is actually really endearing, because it's no secret that life is hard. Life is like the hardest thing you will ever do, and it's full of challenges and peaks and valleys and emotions and crises and God knows, and even Iskander is open about times in his life where he felt vulnerable or stupid or silly, but it doesn't stop him from being like the paragon of masculinity and confidence that he is. I don't actually have this character in my roster in Fate Go. I literally just appreciate this character for the way that he is presented. And it's similar to Ozymandias, is a really great way to get into the history behind Alexander the Great. So there's that as well. For history buffs who are less aware, I suggest that you actually get into Fate, just if for no other reason than to fact check. I feel like you could have a good time just reading through the lore and history attached to the Fate servants and determining whether or not you think that it's accurate or inaccurate, whatever. Let me know. In any case, these have been my 5 favorite servants from Fate Go, Zero, Unlimited Blade Works, all of those series. Comment down below which ones are your favorites. Do we agree? Do we disagree? Are we totally in sync or not? I want to know. Otherwise, if you enjoyed the video today, my ragamuffins, then please give the video a like and subscribe, and make sure to hit the bell icon so you can get instant updates anytime there is a new upload. As always, thank you so much for watching the video. I will see you next time. Have a good one.